This alt-right lunatic goes on an unhinged rant, accusing Democrats of manipulating big pharma to provoke school shootings. Watch this.
But it seems we've gotten away from the things that God has given us and that nature has given us, and that camaraderie with one another, patriotism, public service. These things are also paths to better mental health. And since big pharma can't make money on those, now we live in a world where the biggest pill mill is the school nurse's office. And it's not just that parents shouldn't be constantly bombarded with a different chemical treatment to their kids. It's that the parents who reject that shouldn't have their kids in school with the most doped up generation in all of human history.
Was, of course, Matt Gaetz, Republican extremist from Florida, who took to the conservative talk show War Room to warn of the mind-altering medications of big pharma. Apparently, the drugs that he's referring to in that quote and in the previous clip are the psychosis-inducing gender-affirming medication prescribed to trans patients. Gaetz thinks that those drugs are what are responsible for, ironically enough, school shootings. And considering Florida, the state that Matt Gaetz represents, is ranked amongst the deadliest states in the country for school shootings, it's hard to believe that Gaetz thinks that gender-affirming care is the reason for all of this mass violence. But even more upsettingly, Gaetz' arguments are in response to a recent tragedy that have involved young and mentally ill individuals who, yes, I agree, need to have better support socially and clinically. But to blame all these vicious attacks on pills or medically induced prescriptions is a misnomer. Completely avoids the point that people who are in mental distress should not have access to powerful weapons in the first place. That's available to individuals. But Matt Gaetz continues to lean into the argument that it's democratic indoctrination through mental health resources that encourage school shooters to enact violence. Watch this.
The way that they indoctrinate a lot of the therapists that service young people and that administer care in our schools, they indoctrinate them to believe that the answer to everything is Ritalin or some variant thereof. And now we see this violence erupt at schools. And it's because the schools are the place of trauma. And instead of dealing with that trauma by growing up, by learning sometimes you get scrapes and bumps, and sometimes you have to work through these challenges in the absence of some sort of chemical ailment, well, then now you see more and more people returning to their place of trauma to do violence on others.
Ultimately, Matt Gaetz' arguments avoids the culpability of school shootings. Violence only capable by the military-grade weapons that Republicans continue to permit to exist freely in this country without regulation, while also directing the fault of such egregious crimes towards a non-related, already victimized group in some twisted backhanded maneuver. The struggles surrounding gender-affirming care and mental wellness are important and are important to talk about, but they are used as fodder by the Republican right to manipulate the public sentiments. We won't stop school shootings until we regulate guns, and we won't have deadly people who have access to these weapons roaming the streets, threatening people's lives if we offer up the support that people need, that they deserve, and that protect American children. If you like this video, then you'll love this next one of MTG and her careless stupidity. You can find that video by clicking on screen now or in the link in the description below. Also, make sure to click the link in the description below for a running list of my content. This is Adrian Costa, The Breakdown. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and check back for more videos. See you guys soon.